Hey Aries, welcome to the Violet Flora Tarot. We're going to do your tarot reading today. We're going to take a look at a few areas for you. We're going to take a look at love, money, career, and any hidden blessings that might be coming in. So let's jump in. I'm going to start with let me get your overall energy right now. What is Aries' overall energy? Here we go. Okay, we have the Page of Cups, King of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Emperor, which is interesting coming out with the King of Swords there. So I think that some of you might be having a hard time softening up around other people. You might be having some difficulty with releasing control. Sometimes it's good to be in control, but we can't be in control all the time. So I think that Ace of Wands is there. I think this is encouraging you to have more fun and to kind of, I'm almost getting the energy of like going for a run to getting out that like tense energy, that like rigidity that might be coming through with that King of Swords and the Emperor. So we have the bottom of the deck, Six of Wands. So you might be really worrying about how you're coming off to other people, like wanting to come off as like in control, coming out on top, that you know exactly what you're talking about. And of course, like who wouldn't want that? But I see it causing some problems when there's situations that cause you, that like need you to be a little bit lighter, you know? So something to think about. I think I'm gonna use this deck again. Let's go into Aries love energy. I'm going to first start with this Aries singles, just to kind of see. We're going to get your current energy in love, and then we will see if anything's coming towards you. Okay, Page of Pentacles. So there could be some like messaging with love interests. Okay, with the Well and the Artist, which are cards that are unique to this deck. I think that this is the energy for my Aries singles of playing it too safe. If you're looking for love, playing it too safe when it comes to finding your person. So with the Page of Pentacles, and especially in a love reading, can be more of like a friendship energy. And this is giving me the vibe of, because we have the bottom of the deck is the Five of Cups, right? So there's some disappointments. And if you're feeling like you are friend zoned or have a hard time turning a connection into a romantic connection, I think that what might be happening potentially is that you play it too safe, trying to come off like you're the person's friend. And maybe that's to keep yourself safe from rejection if you would try to approach that interest or the person that you're interested in a romantic way. But something about these two cards together tell me about like how you are going about trying to get what you want, right? And then maybe for some of you, you know, you feel more comfortable, maybe you feel more awkward approaching people romantically, especially if you were already friends with this person. But I don't necessarily think that MO is the best way to go about it, you know? What is the energy coming in for Aries singles? My single Aries, what's the energy coming in for them? Potential energy. Queen of Swords. Okay. There's like a lot of anxiety and distress here. Like worrying and like protecting yourself. So we have the Four of Wands with the Queen of Swords. So the Four of Wands is definitely telling me like there's a lot of self-protection, or there's a lot of having a hard time showing up in a softer way, kind of approaching like going out on dates or approaching conversations with potential love interests a little cold, or again like a little rigid. Something about Aries and rigidity here, which is not really like an Aries in my opinion. The Queen of Cups is at the bottom, and I think that this is the energy of advice, essentially, where it's taking a softer, more relatable approach versus showing up and being like, okay, how are you going to hurt me? Or, okay, when am I going to catch you doing something wrong? It's a kind of approaching, writing people off and approaching a love situation from a negative place and assuming that something is going to go wrong before it even happens. And being closed off. And I think we can kind of mess ourselves up when we want love or we want to date, we want a relationship, but we're going about it from a place of moderate to severe self-protection. We're not letting anybody in, or we're not letting anybody see our softer, playful side, you know? But the Queen of Wands, she is softer. She feels a little safer with emotions in general. So, you know, changing your approach to come off a little more relaxed and a little bit more relatable, I think. That's what it's saying. All right, let's get some love advice for Aries, single Aries. What's some love advice for our single Aries? We have the Well again. The Knight of Wands, the Eight of Wands. Okay. There's fast energy here. A little bit of impulsivity because the bottom of the deck we also have the Knight of Swords with the Knight of Wands, which they're both pretty impulsive. They have different ways of being impulsive. And the Eight of Wands is a pretty fast moving energy. So what is this telling me? Well, first, I think it's taking a more carefree approach to dating or finding and connecting with other people, right? We want to be selective without being too picky. It's good to be selective. It's good to vet people and make sure that they're going to be the right fit and that they're the type of person that we want to be around. But we run into problems when we rule someone out before actually getting to know them. So I think the energy here is maybe even getting in touch with like a little bit more creativity or having a little bit more fun, even in your personal life, non-love, non-romance department, you know? I think the Knight of Wands, he approaches dating, right? He might date a few people at once. He might, you know, not take things so seriously, right? So sometimes I think people can get in their own way by taking dating too seriously when dating is actually supposed to be fun, right? Even if we're dating to find our person, our soulmate, our life partner, we still want to approach the process in a way where we're enjoying it, you know? So I think you may be entering a time with the Eight of Wands and the Fool. You may be entering a time where you're going to have new opportunities to put yourself out there, opportunities to connect with people that you might not be used to connecting with. And I love that for you. All right, I'm going to sip my water because I'm yapping. I'm going to get the energy for my Aries who are involved. Let's get some tarot guidance in love for my Aries who are involved. Let's see. These two want to come out. Okay, Eight of Swords. These two want to come out too. Yeah, that Four of Pentacles again with the Emperor. I mean, Emperor is the Aries card, but there is an uptight vibe to my Aries. What's with that? I think that there's a lot of maybe confusion right now, or a lot of possibly you questioning whether the person that you're dealing with is interested in you. And you might actually be looking for signs that they're not interested, and you have to be careful because sometimes we can scan a situation and find a sign or a little behavioral cue that our belief is correct, right? So the King of Wands, I think this might be the person that you're dealing with. Maybe a fire sign, but you're a fire sign, an Aries. This is a person who's passionate. They're passionate about who they're with, right? So it might be saying that you might be stuck in your head feeling like your person is not that into you, when that really might not be the case. And that might not only lead you to scan the situation for problems or signs that they're gonna take off, it might also lead you to approach your interactions with this person in a kind of closed off, cold, standoffish way, right? With the Emperor and the Four of Pentacles. This also, what I just got, is not being vulnerable in a way that might improve the relationship, because this is the vibe of being afraid that you're going to tell the person something and they're going to use it against you in the future. But I don't think that that's actually what's happening with the Seven of Cups. This is like illusion, right? This is the Eight of Swords. So kind of having your blinders on and kind of looking at your current situation through the lens that you saw your past situation that maybe didn't go well or go the way you wanted to. Let's get some advice for my Aries. Love advice for my Aries who are involved. Let's get some advice. Let's see. Four of Cups. The Death card. Yeah, I think that this is something that you're going to figure out. You're going to figure out, oh, these came out. I think there's going to be a period of introspection with that Hermit, where you are kind of coming out of the situation of feeling like disappointed. Maybe you have a history of being disappointed in relationships, right? But I also think there's a possibility that you're not seeing all of the positive signs that this person is into you, or that this person wants to show up for you or wants to be a good person for you. With the Death card, I think that's like a transformation card, changes, right? It might also be a sign that there's some much needed changes for you to make, right? For you to be grounded, calm, and patient with the situation. Let things unfold naturally. And also trying to take your blinders off to see a situation with fresh eyes, instead of seeing it through the lens that's negative, right? Or like responding to a new person as if they're the person who hurt you, right? That's kind of like almost like a sabotage energy, you know? Okay, that was my Aries love. I'm going to use this deck. I love this deck. It's a lavender Rider-Waite. It's so freaking pretty. I love the Nine of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck wants to show her face. So it looks like money is looking good. Or there's an energy of like potential improvements. Okay, Aries, let's get your money energy. Let's do job, money, and career for Aries. Job, money, and career. Three of Cups. Three of Pentacles. Those wanted to come out. The Queen of Wands. She's an Aries. I think she's a Leo, but I like to use her as the Aries too. Fire sign. Bottom of the deck, the Six of Pentacles. I think that this is actually highlighting there might be a need to assess your work-life balance. If you're giving too much to work or worrying too much about work and maybe money, might be calling you to find more balance in that department. Okay, so the Three of Cups and the Three of Pentacles, I love this for a job, money, career reading. There looks like there's potential for growth, potential for connecting to other people who are maybe in your field or who you work with. Like there's like good camaraderie. Also, the Three of Pentacles can sometimes be a promotion energy, or if you have your own business, like potential for growth. Maybe you're collaborating with other people who are also helping you grow, like working towards the same goal. Because I think with the Fool and the Six of Swords, this is an energy of taking a new direction, right? Maybe you are planning on how to grow something in the future, in the near future, right? Forward movement. The Page of Wands in this case gives me like a planning energy about where you're going to go next, how you're going to make more money, how you're going to be more in the spotlight. Here's the Tower card, not to be alarmed. Let me get, what's the Tower card? Okay. Okay. So we have the Tower, the Strength, the Nine of Cups, which I'm really glad that he's here. He's positive, and the Five of Wands. So I think this might be inner conflict. If you're used to being more like quiet and hidden with what you do, whether you work at a place for someone or you own your own business, you might be used to being anonymous, right? And like that comfortable being anonymous, or like not that many people know who you are. But I think that there's a shift, like a big shift with the Tower card, where I think you're going to be seen a lot more. And that might be bringing up fear and inner conflict of like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to be seen that way? Do I really want to say that? Do I want people to know me this much or see me this much, right? But the Nine of Cups is giving me the energy of like, hey, I put myself out there and I'm really happy that I did it. I love that. And it also might increase your confidence. And I think that people are seeing you as self-assured, confident, and good at what you do, good at what you're putting out. Like whatever you're putting out there is very attractive to other people, you know? But you have to be careful about, this is giving me workaholic vibes. So be really careful about that. It looks like you're going to be really busy, but you might be taking on too much. And I know in Aries, sometimes we like to hit the ground running, sprinting. We need to make sure that we're resting and balancing. With that Six of Pentacles earlier, getting really good at that work-life balance. You might need to reassess it. Let's get an advice card. Job, money, career advice for Aries. Ooh, that wanted to come out. King of Cups. King of Cups sometimes is like someone who works in the healing field. King of Cups with the Queen of Swords. I think this is an energy of getting better at balancing emotions and logic, especially in work or if you run a business. So if you do work in a healing field, this is being able to have empathy and compassion for people and also be able to run a thriving business. That you're able to have boundaries around who works for you, who you work for, who you let around you, who you let have access to things, and also boundaries around money, right? You know, if you're setting a boundary that's going to protect your business, the Queen of Swords is reminding you to keep those boundaries in place. Yes, you can feel for people, you can understand where they're coming from, but make sure that you're still protecting yourself. Because I see you balancing a lot. The Seven of Wands to me is the card of like playing a game of whack-a-mole. It's like one thing after the next. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's, you know, being really busy, and with the Queen of Swords also having to make a lot of decisions, and like quick decisions, very like deliberate decisions. So we want to make sure that we don't get caught up in emotion, or we don't get caught up in worrying about hurting people's feelings, or, you know, worrying about people pleasing, right? That's giving me this vibe. But it does look like, and especially with the Magician at the bottom of the deck, You have what it takes. You have everything that you need to make this really successful and to go where you want to go and to make the money that you want to make. Let's just get one more advice card. The Magician came out again, and I just shuffled. Yeah, I think this is like confirmation that you have what it takes. But the Devil, make sure that you're not getting wrapped up in workaholic tendencies, you know? Let me get an oracle. This is the Career and Life Oracle. Whoop. Okay, let's get a Career and Life Oracle for Aries, for their career, their money and career. Let's see what comes through for Aries. Ooh, these all came out. Usually I would only take one, but I'm going to take all of them. Okay. So we have looking, many choices, and beginning, which actually really corresponds well with the cards that we chose earlier. This might be the beginning of starting on a new venture or a new way of going about things, or really stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that you're not necessarily used to doing. So many choices. You have options, even if you don't see them right now. Get creative and look around. Pull a card for each option to see what's best. Looking. It's okay to look for better work. Be discreet in your search. You need to be aligned with your life purpose to be fully satisfied. I like that. So we want to make sure that we're not doing something because we feel like we have to do it. And in some cases, right, work is important. We work to make money. But if we do have the choice, it's finding work that's aligned with our soul's path, with our inner journey, right? And then we have beginning. Hold on. Beginning. It's a good time to start a new job or a whole new career. You have creative ideas that get noticed. Build a nest egg for the future. I love that. This is really good energy, especially, this is a timeless reading, but at the time I'm doing it, we're at the end of 2025. So a lot of people are planning for the new year about what work's going to look like, what their path is going to be, or what things that they're going to try differently in terms of job, money, and career. That's fun. I'm going to take a look at the hidden blessings coming in for Aries. Any hidden blessings? Let me see if I want to use this deck or if I want to use a different deck. I think I'm going to use a different deck. And then I'm going to pull you an angel card. Okay. Let's see, Aries. What is the hidden blessings coming in for Aries that they might not see coming? Let's see. Hidden blessings for Aries. Ooh. Maybe some traveling. I don't know. There might be opportunities to travel. The Eight of Wands with the Knight of Swords gives me adventure vibes, possibly. Hidden blessings. So I think, let me get a few more cards for this. Okay, I know what this is. Two of Cups. I love the Two of Cups in this deck. It's so cute and pretty. I love the blue and the two fish up top are like freaking adorable. Okay, so for some, there might be an energy of potential love coming in, right? The King and the Queen of Swords are a pair, right? And with the Two of Cups, right? Could be a divine counterpart or a divine partnership. And it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. There's love in many forms. Another potential blessing coming in that you might not see coming is if you are someone who has a history of being indecisive, I think that you're going to actually, it's almost like a gift that you've been working on to give to yourself, of getting really clear on what it is you want and having the ability to communicate that. I love that, especially if you have not necessarily been super confident about speaking up or speaking out, right? And the Tower tells me that this might come as a surprise, right? Let me get a clarification on the Tower card. Why is the Tower there for hidden blessings? Seven of Cups. For my single Aries, there is a potential for you to all of a sudden out of nowhere have a lot of options in the love department. Now, remember, we have free will, and this is just energy that has the potential of coming in, but we have to make sure that we're doing our part to optimize this energy, right? So for some of you, you might have out of nowhere a lot of options coming in, people seeing you more, right? This also could be people seeing you online and reaching out potentially, right? I'm going to shuffle these up and let's just see if any other energy wants to come out for Aries. Let me just pull like a few more cards. I think that it's, your priorities might start to shift, potentially, right? If you're somebody who has always prioritized work, you might be putting more energy into love and family. If you are someone who has been putting too much time into pleasing everyone else, you might be putting more time and focus on the things that you enjoy, right? Maybe passions or hobbies. The Ten of Pentacles, right, that gives me possibly shifting your priority to more family or like long-term stability or thinking about what you want for the long term, right? And I love the Knight of Cups, and this is such a cute, cute, cute Knight of Cups card in this deck. This is the Muse Tarot. So you might be showing up in a more like loving, down-to-earth way in your life. And you might notice that people start responding to you differently, right? In a positive way. This also could be a potential love interest coming in. This card to me is somebody reaching out and showing interest or asking someone out on a date, right? Potential energy that could come in, right? But take what resonates. This is the general reading, right? And tarot is meant to be fun. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful energy. I love that. There's like big changes coming in for Aries, like inner change. All right, let's get the Divine Angel Oracle. Let's get you an angel number card. I like this deck. It's a really cute little deck. Okay, let's get a Divine Angel card for Aries. Balance. Literally, this theme came out so much in this reading. Balance. 222. Love that with that Two of Cups from before. Maintain harmony and balance in your life to manifest your desires. I love that. So there's your reading, Aries. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. If you had fun watching this video, give it a like. Subscribe to my channel, The Violet Flora Tarot. You can also check out my TikTok. We do fun little mini reads over there. I am at The Violet Flora over there. We do readings. We do zodiac readings and like little general readings over there too, mini ones. So we'll talk soon. Happy you stopped by. Bye.